Hi guys, if you're like me, telling yourself to be optimistic, telling yourself that everything's going to work out great isn't exactly the best way to get over the hump, get over the whatever difficulty, whatever challenge is in the way of you getting to your goals. And you often, or I often, overthink, overanalyze, just worry, or just being like, I think about it too much. Essentially, if you're like me, if that sounds like you, here's a technique. Here's a technique for getting over those humps, getting over those difficult patches. And it is called extreme pessimism. And instead of fighting the urge to overthink, to overanalyze, to worry, it is diving straight into it, head on. And that is basically to say is, imagine the worst case scenario and then try and work out if that is acceptable or not. Will that kill you? It's like, okay, if I quit my job now, okay, let's take me as an actual example for a moment. If I quit my job now and just do the videos and try and be like a YouTuber or whatever, it's like, what is the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is I am essentially unemployed for, say, a year. Like, I imagine I'd probably get the hint by then, or I don't know. We'll say a year, make it 2. Why not? We're going extreme pessimism. So 2 years not working, trying my hardest to make this work or something like that. And I come to the end of it and I'm burnt out, I give up and I pick a new path. Or, yeah, as in, I don't imagine it would affect my friend group. I can't imagine it would affect my hobbies. But maybe it does. Maybe I get really obsessed and I lose all my weight because I'm just not eating properly. I'm not working out. I'm not doing minding myself properly. And I end up losing my ability to do my hobbies as well. So that is friends and family. I don't think will affect them. Job would be gone, and hobbies then would be debilitated. No, I'd be less able to do them. Put it that way or whatever. Okay, that is and try and catastrophize it, try and make it even worse. That dating life would be awful. What do you do? I'm a YouTuber. No offense to any actual YouTubers, but there's a stigma. I'm joking. Anyway, could I survive that? Yeah. As in, and would it be worth it? I'm just yeah, kind of. Maybe. It's not my plan. But, okay, so that is one thing. Imagine, catastrophize. What's the worst case scenario? And then also imagine, and don't even try and catastrophize. Try and normalize it. What your life would be if you didn't take the jump. If you just continued on whatever path you're currently on, and would that be acceptable? And try and take that 65-year-old, or say 80-year-old, whatever, on their deathbed. Which would they look back and preferred they had the story to, which story would they prefer to tell? About that they stayed strong, stuck out the difficult job or whatever, was able to save up money and all, and was able to become financially secure, independent and all the rest. Maybe that's the story. Totally possible. Or maybe the story is that you took 2 years out and failed doing some project, whatever it is, and it kind of it set you back a wee bit or whatever, but you still got back on track and you went just back to the old path and became financially independent just 2 years later. Or something like that. So essentially, it is called extreme pessimism. It's leaning into allowing yourself to overthink, overanalyze, and just be like, what am I actually worried about here? Because often we're worried, but we're vaguely worried. We don't actually have the details. There's no texture. There's no actual reason. It's just kind of a sense, a hunch, a gut feeling. It's just oh, that would be different and therefore has to be trouble. And it's just kind of no, let's actually pinpoint where the trouble would be. Not so I can prepare for it or not so I can kind of anticipate it and try and avoid it, but just pinpoint so I know the probability of me succeeding is 40% whatever. So that 60% is that's a bad answer. Okay, how bad is the answer? That's the question. Because maybe it's not that bad. And maybe it's worth sacrificing a year or two of your life. Whether it's for art, a business project, like anything creative, anything where you are creating community or a product or a service. Go back to our maker, server, seller video. Whatever area, I really don't mind. I'm not trying to say there's a hierarchy and try and put artists first or anything like that. No, creativity is in everything. So if you're trying to do a new venture, I can guarantee there's some creativity in it, because if there wasn't, you wouldn't be worried. So fair play to you if you're considering taking a jump or whatever. So we're like mid-recession, we're like, it's the pandemic, it's lockdown, it's awful, oh my God. Okay, it actually is, it is awful, I agree. But you want to start a new project, but it's just not the right time. You want to buy a new house, buy a new car. Don't buy a new car, no one needs a new car. But whatever, you're looking to buy something, you're looking to start a band, or you're looking to start working out, but all the gyms are closed, or you're looking to start whatever. Okay, what's the worst that can happen? You go start running the roads and you're a couple of pounds overweight and you're in shorts that are too short and in a top that's too tight. And maybe you run the roads and people see you and maybe they comment and maybe they gossip. And maybe you give up. Maybe you don't even get the redemption arc. Maybe it's just a phase, again, if we're taking the 80-year-old view, maybe it was just a phase you went through or something like that. Is it worth the risk? Is that outcome really that bad? Is it really that terrifying? Because I would argue that you are stronger than that. I would argue that you are capable of enduring whatever sort of catastrophe, calamity, whatever, whether it be social or financial or just your image of yourself or how you view yourself, whatever, you are strong enough to endure it. And if you actually paint the picture of just how bad it would be, you might be braver than you think. So that's it for today. Hopefully this one sticks, because I want to see projects. We have time. Even if we didn't, we'll make time. And even if we couldn't, we'll burn something down until we have time. We'll do it. I just want to see you kind of express who you are, whether it's through a story, through a picture, through music, through a business, through how you present yourself, whether it's gym or clothes, fashion, piercings, tattoos, whatever. And if you're worried about it, worried about judgment, worried about what other people would think, how people will respond to you, or what people would think of you, you'll be okay. And you're being interesting. You're not on autopilot. If you're considering something and you're worried about it, you are not on autopilot. You are actually actively thinking, which is a massive step. Anyway, okay, enough of this. Enough. Self-flatulation, is that it? But yes, you are awesome. So anyway, that's it for today. I will see you again tomorrow. We're almost at the end of the month. I'm kind of thinking about keeping this routine or keeping this schedule of one every day. Maybe. We'll see. Until I full on burnout, which probably happen by the end of December. But that's what I'm thinking. But I'm worried. Oh no. What would you think if I dropped it? Is it worth the risk? It's always worth the risk. That's it for today, guys. Go do it. Bye, guys.